I found parts of Keeper creepy as hell, right? This is definitely going to be a Vegemite film. Oz is a weird guy who makes weird shit, and this is no different. This movie is a slow burn, dread-inducing movie that goes like batshit insane 70% of the way through. This similar in story structure to something like Barbarian or The Lighthouse, like it's that sort of vibe. This is way closer in vibes to Oz's earlier films like The Pretty Little Thing That Lives in the House or The Blackcoat's Daughter than it is to his recent stuff like Longlegs or The Monkey, right? So if you like his older stuff, like pre-Hansel Gretel, this is probably going to be up your alley. Keeper follows couple Liz, played by Tatiana Maslany, and Malcolm, played by Rossif Sutherland, as a couple who have gone away to Malcolm's rich family's isolated cabin to spend a romantic weekend away together. As soon as they get there, the vibes are off, right? The cabin's fucking weird. There's no locks on any of the doors. There's weird noises emanating from it constantly. There's like every wall is a window. Like there's no privacy there. It's just weird. The vibes are off. It gets even worse when Malcolm's gross playboy-like cousin drops in with his new squeeze, and he's just an asshole, honestly. And as Liz is trying to work out, like as she's trying to cope and not overreact to Malcolm's weird cabin and his gross cousin, we get to play red flag, beige flag as we try to work out what the fuck is going on, right? Like, is the cousin a murderer? Is Malcolm sinister? Is the cabin haunted? Are these some weird fucking woods? What the fuck is going on in this movie? And when the penny drops, that's when this movie is at its best, right? Like, this is a slow film until then. You will spend probably 70% of this film confused, or at least I did, going like, what the fuck? How does what? And then you go, oh, like at the end, you're sort of like, okay, now when the wheels are turning, it gets fucking crazy, right? That's what this movie does, and that's when it's at its best, is at that end point. I really liked the end third of this movie, and while it is a slow burn, I enjoyed it. I don't know if this is going to make my top 10 this year because it's such a strong year for horror, but I really did enjoy this movie. Tatiana Maslany is so fucking good in this movie. God damn is she good. This movie is basically her doing stuff by herself around a house for like 90% of the film. So if you did not have a good actor, right, that would fall flat. It does not here. She is so captivating. She's likable. She's likable, and for the most part, she acts as you would, right? There's almost no chemistry between Liz and Malcolm. And at the start, I found that very off-putting. I didn't like that. And then I sort of worked out like, oh, this is kind of the point, right? That's kind of the point. And so you're trying to work out what weird shit's going on between them. You're trying to work out what weird shit's going on at the cabin. You're just trying to work out what the fuck is going on. And I was so intrigued because I was like, I gotta know. I was in for the slow burn because I had to know what was happening. I was like, this is not making sense. Why the fuck? There's some weird shit with cake. Like, what is going on? I had to know, and I'm glad I did. This movie is I would almost describe it as hypnotic horror. You know how there's like a dreamlike quality to it. It's sort of like, in The Blackcoat's Daughter, how it's Rose and Kat walking through the school a lot, and there's like these zoom out shots of the hallways they're walking in, and it almost feels like they're sleepwalking. It's like a dread-inducing sleepwalk. This movie has that quality, right? Liz is shot from these really weird angles. There's these really weird water transitions in this movie. Like, it almost looks like a really bad Canva transition, but it's intentional, and it's made to make you think like, am I being told is this a reliable vision of what's actually happening? It puts you off balance. You will be questioning reality a little bit in this movie. Like, is this a dream? Is she fucking hallucinating? Is she going crazy? What the fuck is going on with Liz? And when the action starts in this movie, that's when it gets really good. That's when the wheels really start to turn, because I was a bit iffy on the first, probably 2/3 of the movie. I'm like, geez, I don't know if I like this or not. But when the action kicks in, I was like, I like this movie. It's exactly the sort of weird scares that I like. Like I said, it genuinely creeped me out. There's 2 or 3 scenes that I was like, oh, I do not like this. But it's the sort of creepy stuff that I like. It's my favorite brand of horror. And I really liked that. if you like that sort of dreamlike state in horror movies, sort of like Midsommar, like if you like Midsommar, that sort of vibe, I think the ending of this movie will serve you well. I really liked this one. I was a bit iffy. It was one of those like, fuck, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And then I was like, yeah, I'm in. Okay, you got me. So if you like that dream state in movies, I think you'll probably like this one. So the main gripe that's going to be around this film is that it is slow as molasses uphill, right? This movie is so slow. It is the definition of a slow burn. And if the first 5 or 10 minutes don't hook you, like if you don't really care about the weird vibe that's going on between Liz and Malcolm in the cabin, this movie is not for you, right? Like it's going to be like, well, if that doesn't hook you in immediately, probably just bail on this one, because if you don't want to know what happens in the end, it's whatever. Like you need to really feel that hook. That hook got me, but I know it's not going to work for everyone, right? Because this movie is slow. I sort of wish that this movie is not like full-on scary, crazy jump scares like I think the trailer would lead you to believe. It is like 70% slow burn, and then all that stuff is sort of in the last 30%. I wish the action had started probably to the 50, 60% of the runtime. I think if they'd added more and made that a little bit more of a focus of the movie, it would have been like a fucking true banger status for me. But the ending is super satisfying, and I did think it was worth it. I did think the payoff was worth it. But if that hook doesn't get you, if you see Liz and Malcolm in the first 5 or 10 minutes and go, I don't care about these fucking people, don't go in. It's not going to be for you. I would watch this if you love a slow burn. This is the definition of a slow burn horror movie. If you love hauntings and ghosts and that supernatural style of horror, that's probably closer to the vibe of this one. If you like Oz's earlier films to his later stuff, if you like Pretty Little Thing, The Blackcoat's Daughter, if that's the vibe you prefer to Longlegs, this is more in that vein. I would skip this if you want like an action-packed, jump scares a minute sort of style film. The trailer would probably lead you to believe that this is going to be constantly throwing scary shit at you. It doesn't, right? Like they use a lot of like the last 30% of the movie in the trailer. You have to wait for it to get crazy, right? So if you are after an action-packed horror that's got lots of jump scares, like, I don't know, The Conjuring or Smile or something similar, this is not that. If you like a twisty-turny movie, this is a fairly, while the concept is weird, it's a fairly simple plot line, right? It's two or three characters and how they interact. That's really it, right? It's not like Midsommar or Hereditary where there's these big like branching stories, it's rituals and all this sort of shit. It's none of that. Okay, so it's pretty much straight down the line. So if you want like lots of twists and turns and you want to be surprised and all this sort of shit, you probably won't find it here. So another slow burn with some genuinely creepy stuff in it is a film by Veronica Franz and Severin Fiala called The Lodge. Like Keeper, it's like a Chekhov's arsenal of a movie. There's objects in every scene that you're like, oh, that's going to be used later. Like it's one of those things. It's very ominous feeling throughout pretty much the entire movie. It's about a woman named Grace who travels to a remote, isolated cabin with her boyfriend Richard and his 2 kids. The kids do not like Grace, right? Richard's kids don't like Grace. They don't respect her. They sort of see her as the other woman. And while they're there, Richard gets called away for work and leaves Grace in charge of basically looking after these 2 kids, which is a fucking all-time boneheaded move. This movie, it's tense. It's a slow burn. It's disturbing and creepy. These are the guys who made Goodnight Mummy and The Devil's Bath. Pretty fucking dark, disturbing shit. They know how to creep you out, and they do it well here. Highly recommend The Lodge. It's sort of the same vibe as Keeper. Another movie that is a slow burn and goes kind of batshit at the end is the Chloe Okino movie The Watcher. Starring Micah Monroe, who was in Longlegs, another one of Oz's films. She's a woman named Julia who moves to Bucharest for her husband's work. She's sort of isolated. She doesn't know the language. She spends most of her time in their apartment, just, hanging out on the couch. When one day she notices that the guy in an apartment building across from her is just fucking staring at her, right? And that starts a psychological game of cat and mouse, right? Like, Is Julia mentally deteriorating? Is this guy actually sinister? Also, even if he is, what can she do? He's just sort of looking at her. He's not doing anything to her. It's really interesting, this movie. It's really interesting. There's a bit of gaslighting in it. There's a bit of psychological manipulation. You're trying to work out what the fuck is going on, like Keeper. I really love this movie. I think it's underseen, and Micah Monroe is an absolute star in it. I fucking love Watcher. That's it. Let me know if you've seen this one. Oz is just making divisive film after divisive film after divisive film at the moment. And I like his stuff. But I think I like the conversations around his film almost more than I like the film, right? I liked Longlegs, not as much as I was hoping to like Longlegs, but I did like Longlegs. But the conversation around that film was really fucking interesting. So I think Keeper will be like that to a lesser extent. It's a weird film. It's a sort of a return to his roots almost for Oz, and I think that's really interesting. Peace.